Obinna is a billionaire who disguised himself to be a common man, a common wheelbarrow pusher in Alaba International Market, Lagos, in order to find true love. Does true love still exist? Well, let's find out. Obinna, a young man from Nnewi in Anambra State, had been living in Lagos for the past 3 years, hustling every single day to make ends meet. He was not born into wealth, but he had an ambition and determination that kept him going. His daily routine consisted of pushing a wheelbarrow full of goods through the crowded, bustling Alaba International Market. The market, located in the heart of Lagos, Nigeria, was known for its vibrant commerce, with thousands of traders and business people moving through the maze of stalls. Every day, Obinna woke up at 5 a.m., hoping to catch a break, but it always seems as if life was more interested in testing him than rewarding him. With his humble beginnings, no one really took him seriously. Most people in the market mocked him for his ragged clothes, his worn-out sandals, and his wheelbarrow that seemed to barely hold up under the weight of goods he had to carry. Some even laughed at him, calling him a nobody, a poor boy who would never rise above his station. But Obinna didn't mind the ridicule. He had long learned to keep his head down, focus on his work, and ignore the whispers behind his back. As far as he was concerned, the market was just a temporary chapter in his life, a stepping stone on his way to greater things. Despite his lowly status, there was something special about Obinna. He had a kind heart, a generous spirit, and a deep sense of integrity. He would often help traders carry their heavy loads and never ask for more than a few naira in return. Though people mocked him for his poverty, they also admired his work ethic and perseverance. Obinna had dreams. He dreamt of one day owning his own business, perhaps a shop in the market, or even something bigger. But for now, he was just one of the many nameless faces in Alaba International Market, unnoticed and forgotten by most. One morning, as Obinna was hustling through the market, he caught sight of a girl that would change his life forever. Her name was Adobe. She was the daughter of Mama Adobe, a popular restaurant owner in Alaba Market. Mama Adobe's restaurant was famous for its delicious delicacies, and it was often filled with traders, businessmen, and customers seeking to rest and enjoy a good meal. Adobe was everything Obinna was not: elegant, graceful, and beautiful, with a smile that could light up the entire market. Adobe, just like most girls in the market, seemed to have no time for the poor and struggling men who hustled in the corners. She always well-dressed, always surrounded by a group of well-to-do suitors who would lavish her with gifts. Her mother, Mama Adobe, always encouraged her to marry someone who could offer her a life of comfort, wealth, and status. Adobe was known for her beauty, and she often received proposals from wealthy traders and businessmen who were eager to have her by their side. But Obinna's heart was caught the first time he laid eyes on her. She was standing at her mother's restaurant, serving customers with grace, her eyes sparkling with a charm that took Obinna's breath away. He didn't know why, but he felt an intense pull toward her. It was as if everything about her screamed perfect, while he felt like the complete opposite, yet he was determined to speak to her. He worked up the courage and approached her one afternoon when she was resting outside her mother's restaurant. "Hello, Adobe," he greeted, his voice nervous but earnest. "I've seen you around. I want to say you are very beautiful." Adobe looked at him, unimpressed, and then quickly turned her gaze away. "Thank you," she replied, her tone flat and disinterested. Obinna's heart sank, but he didn't give up. "I'm Obinna," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I work here in the market. I'm just trying to make a living, and I was wondering if you might be interested in getting to know me better." Adaobi didn't immediately respond. Instead, she looked him up and down with a disapproving expression. Her gaze lingered on his worn clothes, his unkempt hair, and the wheelbarrow he was pushing. "You?" she asked, her tone almost mocking. "You want to get to know me? Look at you. What can you offer a girl like me? I don't associate with poor men like you." Obinna's heart shattered at her words, but he tried to keep his composure. "I may not have wealth, Adaobi, but I have something more valuable. I have ambition. I work hard every day. I can't promise you riches, but I can promise you that I will never stop working for a better future." Adaobi, clearly uninterested, turned away without another word. "I'm sorry, Obinna, but I have no time for someone like you. Maybe you should try elsewhere," she said as she walked away. Mama Adaobi even went as far as pouring dirty water on Obinna, telling him to leave her shop and never return again. "You can't even afford a proper meal in my restaurant, and you want to marry my daughter. Oh, I get it. You want to marry my daughter so that you can be eating free food from my restaurant. I know your tricks. Get out of here before I call the police on you and label you a thief," Mama Adaobi said. Obinna stood and froze, his mind racing. He had never felt more humiliated in his life, but deep down, he didn't blame Adaobi. She was right. A man like him had nothing to offer a woman like her. He had no wealth, no status, nothing but the sweat of his brow. The pain of rejection lingered in Obinna's chest as he walked away from Mama Adaobi's restaurant. He could still hear Adaobi's mocking words echoing in his mind. "Poor man," she had said. He had heard those words countless times before, but hearing them from her stung the most. As he walked through the market, his head low, Obinna did notice the girl who was following him. It was Funke, a house help who worked for Mama Adaobi. Funke had seen everything from Adaobi's rejections to Obinna's devastated expression as he walked away. Funke, unlike Adaobi, was different. She was humble, kind, and had always admired Obinna from afar. She had seen how hard he worked every day, how he never complained, how he treated everyone with respect, even though they often looked down on him. Funke knew Obinna was a good man, despite his poverty. As Obinna was trudged home, he heard a voice call out to him, "Obinna!" He turned to find Funke running towards him, her face filled with concern. "I saw what happened," Funke said, catching her breath. "I am so sorry about the way Mama Adaobi treated you." Obinna was taken aback. You saw?" Funke nodded, her expression softening. "Yes, and I think it's wrong. No one should treat another person like that." Obinna smiled weakly. "It's okay, Funke. I guess it's just the way life is. No one wants a poor man. Maybe I will have to accept that." Funke shook her head. "Obinna, you are wrong. You are not defined by how much money you have. You are defined by your character, your strength, and your heart. I've watched you work hard every day. I admire you." Obinna looked at her, surprised. "You admire me?" Funke smiled warmly. "Yes, I do. You have a kind heart. You are so hardworking. And if you ask me, that's what truly matters in a relationship. I don't care about your wealth. I care about you." Obinna's heart skipped a beat. He had never expected such kindness from Funke, especially after what had just happened with Adaobi. "Funke, would you marry me?" Obinna asked, almost as if it was a dream. Without hesitation, Funke replied, Yes, Obinna, I will marry you. I believe in you. With you, I know that hunger will never kill me and my children. Let's go together. I want to build a life with you." Obinna's eyes widened in disbelief, his heart racing. You are sure?" Funke laughed softly. Yes, I'm sure. I've always admired you, Obinna, and I know that together we'll make it. Obinna felt a wave of relief wash over him. For the first time in his life, someone had chosen him not for his wealth, but for who he was, his heart, his work ethic, his determination. Months later, Obinna and Funke was preparing for their marriage introduction. Obinna, though still humble at heart, had undergone a transformation. He had kept his true identity a secret, not because he was ashamed, but because he wanted to test the sincerity of Funke's love. He had to be sure that she loved him for who he was, not for what he could give her. The day of the marriage introduction arrived. Obinna, looking more confident than ever, arrived at Funke's village with a convoy of luxurious cars. It was a spectacle that no one in Funke's village had ever seen before. The villagers who had known Funke's humble background were astonished to see Obinna arrive in such style. They whispered among themselves, wondering who this rich man was and why he was marrying Funke, the humble house help. Funke's parents were equally surprised, though they were grateful for the wealth Obinna was bringing into their lives. They had no idea that Obinna wasn't just a wealthy man. He was the son of one of Nigeria's richest and most influential tycoons. His father, Chief Emeka Obi, was a business mogul who had made a fortune in oil and real estate. Despite his immense wealth, Obinna had chosen a life of humility in the market, testing whether his worth would be recognized without the laws of his family's wealth and fortune. As Obinna stepped out of one of the gleaming cars, dressed in a sharp-tailored suit, the crowd in Funke's village stared in disbelief. Whispers spread like wildfire. The young man they had seen as just another poor hard-working market vendor was now a figure of wealth and sophistication. Funke, standing beside him, smiled at the surprise and awe in the eyes of her family and neighbors. Obinna's true identity had been carefully concealed, even from Funke until this moment. He wanted to see if she would love him for who he was, not the riches he could one day provide. And now, as he stood before her family, he was ready to reveal the truth. He turned to Funke and whispered, "Are you ready for this?" She nodded, her eyes filled with anticipation. "I'm ready." Obinna stepped forward and addressed the gathered crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen, I know many of you have wondered about me, about who I am, where I come from. Today I want to share my story." The crowd felt silent and all eyes were fixed on him. He took a deep breath before continuing. "I am Obinna Obi, the son of Chief Emeka Obi, one of the wealthiest men in Nigeria. I am not just a poor boy from the market. I chose to live among the people, to work hard and to test the purity of love. I wanted to see if anyone would love me for the person I am, not the money I have." Gasps echoed from the crowd as people realized the gravity of what Obinna was saying. His revelation sent shockwaves through the room. Funke's parents stood frozen, their mouths agape. They had known Funke's humble background, but they hadn't known that she was marrying the heir to a fortune. Adobe and her mother, who had been invited to the introduction, stood amongst the guests. Their eyes were filled with disbelief as they watched Obinna, who they had once dismissed as a poor, unworthy suitor for Adobe. Mama Adobe cried out loud, her heart twisted in guilt and regret. She had driven away the man who had secretly been a prince among men. Now, the very man she had dismissed as wretched was standing before her, and it was clear that Funke was about to marry him, not her own daughter. Obinna, sensing the tension in the air, turned to Funke's parents. "I know this is a lot to take in," he said, "but I want to assure you that my love for Funke is real. I chose her not for her humble background, but for her heart. She has always admired me for who I am and my hard work, and that is what matters most to me." Funke's parents, still in shock, slowly approached Obinna, their eyes scanning the luxurious cars and the wealth he had brought with him. Then, With a deep bow of respect, Funke's father spoke. My son, I had no idea of your true identity, but it doesn't matter now. You have my blessings to marry Funke. We have always taught her to look for a good heart, and it's clear you have one. Welcome to our family. Funke, tears glistening in her eyes, threw her arms around Obinna. I knew you were different, Obinna. I knew from the start you were the one for me. Obinna hugged her back, his heart swelling with joy. Thank you, Funke. I can't tell you how much this means to me. Meanwhile, Adobe and her mother, who had been observing the entire scene with glowing regrets, they had always this belief that wealth was the most important thing in a marriage to them. It was unfathomable that a man could win a woman's heart without the trapping of wealth, power and prestige. Now, as Obinna stood proudly beside Funke, it became painfully clear to her and her judgment had been flawed. Mama Adobe had dismissed Obinna because of his poverty, never once considering his character, his work ethic and his kindness. She had thought him unworthy of her daughter, but it was clear now that the man she had looked down on was more than worthy of any woman's love. As the event continued, Mama Adobe approached Obinna, her face a mixture of shame and desperation. Obinna, please, she pleaded, her voice trembling. I made a terrible mistake. I misjudged you. You are not a poor boy I thought you were. You are a man of great worth, and I was wrong to dismiss you. Obinna looked at her, his expression softening. Mama Adobe, I understand. I've been rich my whole life, and I know how easy it is to judge someone based on appearances, but I wanted to find true love, and I found it in Funke. Mama Adobe's eyes welled with tears. Please, Obinna, she continued, don't turn away my daughter. Take her instead. She's beautiful, she's well educated, and she would make a perfect wife for someone like you. I can't bear to see her marry someone who doesn't have your wealth. Obinna's heart broke from Mama Adobe, but he shook his head gently. I've made my choice, Mama. Funke is the woman I love. I want her, not because of her background, but because she loves me for who I am. That's more than enough for me. Mama Adobe's sobs grew louder. Please, Obinna, please don't let me lose my daughter. I made a mistake and now it's too late. But Obinna's heart was firm. It's too late, Mama Adobe. You had your chance, and now it's time for me to build my future with Funke. The weeks that followed were filled with excitement and celebration. Obinna and Funke's marriage introduction had been a success, and the preparation for their traditional wedding began in full force. The couple was now the talk of both Lagos and Funke's village. Obinna's family, upon hearing of his choice to marry Funke, was supportive, and they eagerly contributed to the wedding plans. Mama Adobe, on the other hand, had to come to terms with the fact that her daughter would not be marrying Obinna, but the guilt she felt was overwhelming. She had once been so certain that wealth would guarantee her daughter's happiness, yet it was Obinna's love for Funke, his sincerity, his hard work, and his character that had won her heart. Obinna and Funke's wedding day arrived, and it was nothing short of magnificent. The ceremony was held in a grand hall in Lagos, with hundreds of guests in attendance. Obinna, dressed in a regal agbada, and Funke, stunning in a traditional outfit, stood side by side as they exchanged vows. Obinna's family showered Funke's family with gifts, luxurious cars, a mansion in Banana Island, and a life of comfort and security. Funke's parents, though overwhelmed, were overjoyed. Funke, beaming with happiness, couldn't believe that she had found a man who truly loved her, despite everything she had once believed about the importance of wealth. As they stood together, hand in hand, Obinna whispered to Funke, "This is just the beginning. We will build a future, a legacy together." Funke smiled up at him, her eyes filled with love. "With you, Obinna, I know we can conquer anything." And so, Obinna and Funke began their new life together, They faced the challenges of the world with love, perseverance, and unity. Obinna, once humbled market boy, had found not only wealth but true love, proving that in the end, character and sincerity were worth more than anything money could buy. Years later, Obinna and Funke became a symbol of love, hard work, and determination. They established several successful businesses, giving back to their communities and helping countless others who had once been in Obinna's shoes. Obinna's family supported their endeavors, and Funke's influence made a lasting impact in the world. Mama Adobe, who had once believed that wealth was the ultimate measure of success, found peace in knowing that true happiness wasn't found in material possessions, but in the love and respect one earned through hard work, integrity, and kindness. Obinna's story became a legend in Lagos and a testament of the power of perseverance and the unshakable belief that true love could conquer all.